So now we're humming, we've got some thought leadership going, we've got leads set up, maybe we're doing some events, we're working with influencers. What's next? What do we really work on to make it all sing?
So it's time to work with partners. So Salesforce being an absolutely massive partner. So I used to run a Salesforce consultancy for 4 years. So I was kind of on both sides of the coin here. You know, Salesforce I mean, 80% of our leads came from Salesforce being an SI. But super important to align to Salesforce, align with all the different teams internally so that they're aware of your app. But also align your product to them as well. You know, I'm sure most people on the call are aware that Salesforce have completely verticalized now. You know, every single AE, account executive, solution engineer that works at Salesforce will be aligned to some vertical. And it makes perfect sense, right? If an AE can speak the language of financial services, can speak about previous customer success stories, they're going to be able to much more easily sell that deal and build trust with a prospect if they're speaking their language. So it's super important to align to industries. You know, not every ISV can do it, but I think it's important to make the effort to try, just because Salesforce are so industry aligned. And also, of course, you know, aligned to products as well. So, you know, sales, service, marketing. I mean, this might be obvious, you know, if your app is in the marketing space, then you're aligned to that. But I think it's important to just, you know, think of the use cases, especially if you span multiple products, which a lot will, like sales and service. Important to kind of, you know, work out the specific use cases in those products. And then we touched on this earlier, so engaging with SIs as well. So when I was running that consultancy, we had a lot of relationships with SIs, and it was with ISVs, and it was great because we you know got a bit of referral money, which was nice, but also helped our customers get up and running quicker as well. I suppose there's always a bit of battle, to be honest, with SIs. You know, do you introduce an ISV that can cut your implementation time down? You know, so you're losing out on a bit of service revenue, but it's so much easier. And the customer's going to love you for it because, you know, that you're not wasting your time developing custom integrations, custom apps, and the time to value is a lot quicker. They're going to get their implementation up and running faster and probably going to be happier rather than some custom integration. So it's really important to do that. And then also, if your app does have some implementation with it, as you know, as some apps will, that's a bonus for the SI as well. You know, Conga had such a good relationship with SIs because it had such a great app, and there was a bit of implementation service along with it. And it wasn't loads, but you know, partners like that. So and as I mentioned earlier, you know, SIs are on the ground with pretty much every single new and existing Salesforce customer. So really important to engage with them as well. And again, this takes time to identify those SIs, build relationships with them. I think it's really important to have the collateral available as well. You know, I've had SIs just reach out to me going, you know, do you want a partner? And I'm like, you know, send me a deck, and they don't have anything. You know, so, you know, just make it as frictionless as possible to engage with these SIs because they are getting reached out by a lot of ISVs. Back to you, Mike.
Yeah, and I've done a couple of podcasts. I'll share a link. It's called How We Got There, with a couple of SIs that just talk about it candidly, like the low quality outreach that they get, because similar to the Salesforce problem where there's so many ISVs, like ISVs have figured out that SIs are a real big growth lever. I'll give you a couple of numbers and examples of it, because this is a funnel. It's just another funnel for you, just like your sales and marketing funnel. You need to think about your funnel math for Salesforce sellers, Salesforce SEs, sales engineers, then the system integrators, those SIs, and they're just other funnels for you to do. When I was at TaskRay, we saw about 30% of our new business revenue in the year we exited to come from partners. And so about 20% of that was SIs and the other 10% was Salesforce. I've heard that number over 50% for some ISVs. And so these partner channels can be material. They can even be more than your inbound and outbound motions. And so, like, what I see as a pitfall as people are getting the materials, and advisory obviously helps you kind of navigate all this and produce the right materials, but people don't treat this like a funnel. and they don't track individual AEs and SCs in their Salesforce instance. They don't market to them with specific language for them that talks about, through the customer 360 lens, how you solve problems and how you win customers and how you achieve that influencer status with those. And it's the same concept, just different math with system integrators. Let's just take the numbers. There's 2,300 SIs globally. You've got Accenture, Deloitte, don't start there. Then you've got the two guys or gals in the garage, don't start there. But where are some of those ISVs, those tier 2 and tier 3 or SIs rather, that you can target? Find the ones that share a Salesforce product integration that they implement in the same geography, in the same industries, that you share a customer size. Target 50 of those. You'll probably get meetings with 20 of them, maybe 15, and then sign them up as a referral partner. And some of them care about a referral percentage of your first year deal. Some of them don't. But figure you get 10 of those signed up, and then 3 or 5 of them start to develop a practice around that. And you can quickly see where that can start to be a meaningful part of your pipeline. And we actually have a product now. I'm super proud of it. Checking us out on the AppExchange. It's called Partner Success Tracker. It helps ISVs of all shapes and sizes do this tracking at both a partner level as well as an individual level to give you the metrics and the optics around what's working, what's not, and what's next.